Every day when you log into ChumbaCasino.com, the ultimate online social casino, you get a free daily bonus. Imagine if you got daily bonuses in other parts of your life.
I chose French fries over loaded French fries.
I asked Stuart from accounting about his weekend, even though I don't care.
I updated my operating system without having to call tech support.
Collect your free daily bonus at ChumbaCasino.com now. And live the Chumba life. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
If you're a facilities manager at a university, you know students rely on the cafeteria for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and the occasional late-night snack. So when a dishwasher breaks down and dirty plates pile up, the mess hall can turn messy in the blink of an eye. Enter Grainger. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast delivery, the product you need now is never far away. So you can turn that dishwasher back into a lean, clean washing machine. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
How do you feel when you switch to Geico and save on your car insurance? It's like going to work on Thursday morning and thinking to yourself, just one more day until Friday. But then somebody walks into the elevator and says,
Happy Friday!
Then you check your phone quickly and discover today is actually Friday. So yes, happy Friday, random stranger in the elevator. Happy Friday indeed. Yep, switching and saving with Geico feels just like that. Get more with Geico.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From the BetMGM Sportsbook at the Beau Rivage in Biloxi, Mississippi. Welcome to the Monday edition. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff along with Jimmy Ott and Jordan Kitchens back in the studio. Our final show before we break a couple days for Christmas. Hope everybody's enjoying the holiday season. Hope you had a good weekend. Lots of football. Some good, some not so good, depending on if you're watching the college or the pro. Pro football was pretty doggone entertaining yesterday. The college football, not as much on Saturday and Friday night. Some blowouts and the belly aching. I'm using that term because it's the Christmas season, Jimmy. I don't want to use any foul language here today. Is rampant this morning because, well, the games weren't very competitive. But first of all, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Charlie. No, I mean it's belly aching from who though? I mean, are we talking about Lane Kiffin? He's been belly aching for a while. I mean, but
Kiffin's. It's an easy answer for Kiffin. You lost your case in September when you lost to Kentucky. So I'm not.
And wait. Your schedule Wake Forest is your toughest game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's weak. That's weak.
Mike Norvell had a real case last year. Okay,
and Indiana schedule weak too.
Yeah, and Michigan was not that good. That was supposed to be a good game on Indiana's schedule. It wasn't. Oklahoma was supposed to be a good game on Texas's schedules. It wasn't. Here's my thing. I really get aggravated when the committees or the media covering this stuff decides that, well, we know better, despite what the results on the field may be. And if you want to debate good wins versus bad losses, I'm here to have that discussion. But when you just tell me, and I love Kirk Herbstreit. I think he's great for college football. I think he's, for the most part, objective, but in this case,
he's as objective as it gets.
Yes, he comes off a little indignant, and it's for the SEC. But don't tell me that. Well, we gotta really look at this and decide that Alabama would have played a better game against Notre Dame, or that Ole Miss
probably would have.
Maybe.
Ole Miss probably would have. I would say, Charlie, give it more of a – come on, you saw – it's easy to say now the result. We didn't know going in, but now that we've seen it, I mean, I could say the same thing. Who finished outside of Michigan State when Michigan State lost to Alabama 42-0? Well, guess what? There were some other teams that probably would have been more competitive.
Yeah.
But Michigan State deserved to be in there. What do you do? I mean, you got – I mean, it's nobody's playing each other. There's no perfect way to do it. But my thing is, I'm worried about the decreasing the value of big wins, because the only way you get big wins is schedule tough teams, and the schedule doesn't always work out as you pointed, but a lot of times it does.
And I'm all for that, and that's non-conference scheduling.
Okay, but it's still
now we're getting into conference scheduling where it's impossible. I used to be a big believer in conference championships should mean something, and I actually was with the committee when they said, you know what, conference championship should mean something, so we're going to give these teams a bye. But
give them a spot.
But the more I look at it, it's impossible to have any kind of balance in your conference scheduling when your conferences are 16 to 20 teams. You know, you can't play a round robins, anything resembling an equal schedule. At least up until last year, you had divisions and you played 6 common opponents. Now, the discrepancy amongst the schedules in the conferences are so drastic. You know,
well, how about but the conferences are never equal to begin with.
No,
so I mean,
absolutely
just say,
not.
well, but no, let them in. No, like Arizona State, Iowa State, winner, you're in. Be happy with it. Sorry, and if you're good enough. If the committee feels you deserve to be seated higher, then fine. But not just the automatic. But I do like –
and I'm fine with doing away with the automatics.
I think that's done. I mean, come on. Boise State and Arizona State should not be buys. Come on, man. That's a joke. I mean, that's a joke.
Sure.
I mean,
sure.
You look at Ohio State, Notre Dame, Texas playing this weekend. Come on, man. But the it's that's going to be fixed. I like valuing the conference championship. I like having them in. The seeding, no, because it makes a lot more games, and that's fine to get them in. 12 teams, that's okay to get Arizona. Do you have a problem with Arizona State getting in?
I do not.
No,
I do
not. Now
they
might get blasted. They're 2-touchdown dog. Mm-hmm. They might lose by 30. Could easily lose by 30.
They might.
But I mean, there's just got to be a balance in. I'm sorry, but Indiana is that's a resume that could be picked apart. That's a resume that could be. Do you think it's easier to beat weaker teams impressively, be dominant against weaker teams, or be competitive against the stronger teams? The answer.
I think it's better to be competitive against the stronger teams, but I also think that there's a value to taking care of what you're supposed to take care of and winning the games you're supposed to win. And Ole Miss and Alabama didn't win the games that they were supposed to win. Ole Miss and
Alabama had wins that Indiana
did
not.
That's right.
And so there's
I'll have that. I'll have that discussion
right.
for sure.
So what's your beef?
My beef is that when you look at this and you say, well, look, these are blowouts, so the committee got it wrong, and we know. That's the way I took it. Maybe I need to go listen to it again, but it was, well, if you'd have put these other teams in, it would have been better. And you don't know that, okay? You don't know that Ole Miss would have gone out there and given you the effort that they gave against Georgia or the effort that they gave against Kentucky, the execution, okay? I saw both of those Ole Miss teams. I saw them losing Tiger Stadium. So don't tell me that they're perfect. And you sort of lose when you lose 25% of the games on your schedule, you're losing the argument at that point. Last year was different.
Don't give me that the loss column, because that's a problem. I mean, that's what you do. I mean,
losing the bad teams.
Charlie, give Ole Miss Indiana's schedule. What would they have done?
They'd probably had the same record as Indiana. Probably been 11-1.
Probably so.
Yeah.
Right.
I actually favored South Carolina against Ole Miss and Alabama because they didn't have a bad loss. All of their losses were to good teams, but they lost to Ole Miss and Alabama. So,
when you have 100 or so teams, and forget once you get past 100. I mean, let's say 75 teams that are under consideration.
It's really closer to 50.
Okay. All right. And you play 12 games, and let's say you play 9 or 10 basically amongst each other. Mm-hmm. It's hard to figure out. It's hard to figure out. Home crowd does matter, huh? That matters.
Certainly did this weekend. The home crowd mattered. The weather probably mattered a little bit. And, hey, it stunk that we didn't get good games. Let me tell you another place where it's completely fair how they pick the teams, and it's completely fair how they advance through the postseason. That's in the NFL, okay? Everybody plays everybody, and they get to the end, and we still get a clunker of a Super Bowl about half the time. So, you can't just tell them. That's the way I took Herb Street stuff is, well, if you'd have put the other teams in, we'd have had better games. You don't know that.
No, but probably. Can't be much worse, Charlie.
These were bad games.
Let's be fair.
These were lopsided. These were lopsided games.
These teams acted like they didn't. I
thought Clemson competed. I thought they got beat, but they competed.
If SMU's quarterback had played at the level of Clemson's, they might have won.
No, they could have.
Indiana got beat on both sides of the line of scrimmage.
They did.
Indiana played with a loser mentality as well.
They had the smallest margin, and actually –
Kirk Cignetti's done this 3 games now where he plays not to get embarrassed. You're in the playoffs now, okay? All right? You're in the playoffs. You're not playing for moral victories. I mean, you have to go for it. No, if you lose by 45, so be it.
Right.
You have to go for it in 4th and 11 near midfield in that situation, period. He did this against Ohio State, where he tried to gloss it over a little bit and make it more respectable. He faked a punt up 38 to nothing against Purdue. What are you doing there? You kept your quarterback in, throwing touchdowns against Purdue till it got to when we were up 50. I mean, there's kind of that nonsense is Bush League, and no, but they got. Indiana can play that game a million times, and they're going to lose a million times because they get killed. SMU did not get pushed around at the line of scrimmage.
No, the quarterback just had an awful day.
I mean, my gosh. I mean, take the kid, Ty Thompson from Tulane, which that was the worst I've ever seen, and this kid played on Saturday. I mean, I don't know. Pick 6, who was the McCord against Pitt on Thursday night? We threw like 4 or 5 pick sixes, something like that.
Oh yeah, he threw 5 interceptions.
Yeah,
and
three. I mean,
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, "Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody." Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back. And we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this: everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I mean, this guy went out of his way throwing it because Penn State wasn't that great.
No, not offensively. No, essentially Jennings gave him the game.
But they hadn't. What have they done? What have they done? What's their win at Louisville?
SMU's best win is at Louisville. Yeah.
I mean, they didn't play Clemson during the regular season. They didn't play Miami. They didn't play Notre Dame in one of their 5 ACC teams.
Which is
That's
why
the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, but
I've always been a big conference championship guy, but yeah, that is a problem.
They didn't win it.
But they got into the championship game without having.
But what was their path?
Exactly.
You just said it.
Yeah.
You can have these lopsided schedules.
Right.
Well, no. In the SEC, if you played, a few teams, the SEC and that path, it's hard not to. Texas might have had a case this year.
What was their best win?
Texas might have had a case.
A&M.
Yeah.
That's their best win. That's an 8-win team. It's not like they went out and beat.
At least they had
top 5 teams. And Herb Street also, and like I said, I love Herb Street, but was it not back in 2017 where they put Alabama in at 11-1 over a 10-2 Ohio State team because Ohio State got hammered at Iowa? That was the year that Iowa put 55 on them. You remember that game? It was a night game at Kinnick. But Ohio State had 3 top 10 wins. They had beaten Penn State when Penn State was in the top 5. They had beaten a top 5 Wisconsin team that year. They had beaten a top 10, 12 Michigan State team, but they were 10-2. Okay, they had lost a game to Oklahoma that year, who was also ranked, and then they got housed by Iowa. The committee kept them out. Okay, but they had 3 better wins than Alabama that year. Three higher ranked wins. So don't act like this hasn't happened before. So and if I remember correctly, he was stumping for.
What was Alabama's wins that year?
Their best win in 2017, I think, was Auburn, because Auburn was. I think it was Auburn.
Well, I mean, that's only half the story is Ohio State's wins.
I'll look it up real quick, but
I mean,
Ohio State had 3 better wins than Alabama did.
Okay,
that particular year.
They had more losses.
1 more loss. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's
it's not an exact comparison, but it's got some similarities to this year.
I think Alabama and Ohio State's schedule that year, Charlie, was a little bit more on par with each other than SMU's and South Carolina's.
They were, but
come on,
the overall schedules were on par. But if we're going to talk about quality wins, Ohio State had more that particular year.
And that's half the battle. But.
Actually, Alabama lost to Auburn that year. Their best win that season was against Florida State.
So they were undefeated going into the Auburn game?
They were. They had beaten Florida State. That was the year the quarterback got hurt in the first quarter. LSU was a top 20 team that year, but they weren't anything special. And Alabama got in, and they won the national championship. But
they have no other big wins that year. Tennessee was terrible.
Tennessee, the only other win they had over – they beat Florida State when Florida State was in the top 5, but again, the quarterback got hurt. LSU and Mississippi State were both top 25 teams that year, in the teens, and then they lost. They lost to Auburn. So, their big signature win that season was against a compromised Florida State team. Anyway,
Herb Street last year surprised me when he said, "I'm tired of the blowouts. I just want to see the best teams." Instead of deserving, and that's just now. The quarterback being out for Florida State, is that an extenuating circumstance? Is it? I mean, starting quarterback's out for Georgia,
and that can happen. That wasn't Alabama's fault that year, but again, Don't get too indignant with me about, we know this team is better than this team, because you don't. Not you. I'm talking about them.
But that was garbage this weekend.
They were bad games.
That acted like teams that didn't belong. They acted like the stage was too big.
Yeah.
And my thing is, this is not college basketball. There is no 3-point line. If you're going to get you beat up like that up front, like Indiana, you have no chance. Great story, but, I mean, go schedule. Look at their non-conference schedule. What did they do
It was nothing.
What did they do to try and make an impression on them? No, this guy's just trying to get green puffs.
Did we ever
Florida International.
How much time did we spend before the season talking about Indiana or their schedule? Most years, Indiana's trying to get bowl eligible. They're trying to sneak into one of these.
No doubt.
Yeah,
Most years. They get to a bowl every 1 out of 5 years.
Yeah, they're just trying to get to 6 wins some kind of way. So, I still like the format. The 12 teams. I'm fine with tweaking it, and you're going to go to 14, you're going to go to 16, that's fine too. And if you want to take the buys out of it, okay. You want to talk about doing different seeding, I'm okay with that. I'm fine with all that.
I think Tennessee and the other teams have just as much of an argument because South Carolina, Ole Miss, and Alabama played tougher schedules than Tennessee.
Well, Tennessee got skull-drugged the other night. Mm-hmm. And do I think Ole Miss and Alabama would have played better? Yeah, but again, they might have thrown those clunkers in because I saw them play badly against bad teams, both of them. So no, and that's the thing about it, especially from Ole Miss. The Runts, they just want to get to the big boy table one time, okay? So they're going to, and this is, I think what hurts Kiffin the most is this is the best team. Yeah. And this is a team that could have competed. This is not one of those teams, let's just go, 100 miles an hour and just try and just light up the scoreboard. Who cares if we can stop anybody? We're just trying to be exciting, and maybe pull off an upset. No, they had dogs. And they had guys up front that could play. All they had to do was beat Kentucky and they'd have been.
Yeah, well, when they acted like they had been there before.
They played dumb football that day.
Entitled, dumb, real dumb football IQ, but didn't the oldest don't take your opponent. You better respect your opponent.
And they didn't that day.
No,
they did not.
Zero. So when you act like an immature program that's never been there, doesn't know what's necessary. We get on Saban about the rat poison, but this is what he's talking about. I got to get my team to respect their opponent.
That's what I'm saying.
Or this could happen.
I would rather you play against better teams, but there's something to be said for winning the games you're supposed to win.
But this is part of the SEC. That's real. Kentucky might be 1-7, but go check out Kentucky's football budget. Go check out their facilities. Go check out their staff budget. They've got some support. So every now and then, that 1-7 Kentucky probably better than that 1-7
Purdue,
Northwestern.
Okay, same school.
I think they went 0. They went 0-9 this year.
Purdue was pretty bad. They were really bad.
But I think so. But Paul Stone, and we're going to break. Paul Stone said this too. When you go on a road and you lose close, like when Ohio State lost by 1 point to Oregon. Their point spread value or their power rating actually they move more than Oregon when you play that close at somebody's place.
Yeah.
And so when South Carolina was a 2-point conversion away at Alabama, that's a notch for me. That's a notch. Alabama went to Tennessee. That was kind of, back, but that's not a killer. But when you go on the road and smoke somebody, and when you do it, or you beat them more handily, I think that's a different story. So,
here at the Beau Rivage.
Fun day.
Live at lunch, 145.
I'll take it more than 4. Give me 12. Yeah. I'll take that garbage we sat this past weekend and just have fun watching the fans or Ohio State troll the SEC. I'll take that. Because we have more games. But it's, we did it. It's first ever historic. I mean, it's 50 years overdue. Settle down.
Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the Beau Rivage on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
You can always get the show on demand, the new LouisianaSports.net and 104.5ESPN.com. Latest Handycast includes a good chunk of the portal transfers coming into LSU right now on YouTube. All right, so now that we're done with the complaining about who got in and who didn't and the state of the games, big takeaways from the actual games for the teams that are moving forward. And I'll give you my first one, Jimmy. I think you agree with this. We talked about it on Football Sunday yesterday. Will Howard has not played that well in any game that I've seen him play, either at Ohio State or at Kansas State. He was putting balls on the money that usually he does not make those throws. If he plays like that, and I don't know that he can keep that up for 4 straight games, but if he plays like that, Ohio State's going to be very, very hard to beat. That was the biggest That was the biggest breakthrough performance from somebody this weekend that I saw.
I think it's no question. I mean, he was phenomenal. I hadn't seen a fade throw like that in a tight window since we sat on the sidelines of Florida Field and watched Danny Werfel.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woo-hooer, a hand clapper, a high-fiver? If you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. Choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, "Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody." Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm, Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
He was, he brought his game, man. And it's funny how, just that was a bad loss to Michigan. It's a bad loss at home. The 3-touchdown favorite. I mean, you come on. It's just, and he played bad. The coaching staff didn't have a whole lot of confidence in him. And, man, they looked as good. It was 21-0. I mean,
the game was over, but 3 drives in.
But, Charlie, this is the fun part about it is you don't know. You don't know if he's going to – we don't know what kind of – drive to drive, half to half, game to game. Quinn Ewers, do you know? Will Howard, do you know? The kid from SMU. They've been great all year. Now, he acted like he'd never been in that kind of stadium and that type of environment before, too. But, Klubnik. How good was Klubnik?
Klubnik kept
awesome.
Kept Clemson in it as much as he could.
Keep in mind, they couldn't stop the run, and they couldn't run the ball. And he's still keeping them in the game.
Yeah.
He was awesome. So the quarterbacks that we have left, you don't know. Even Dylan Gabriel, who's probably the most consistent, he's had a little, throw some interceptions, every now and then. Georgia's quarterback is, you can't have a ton of, that's a backup. That's going to be tough. That's going to be tough for Kirby and them. So, no, of course, if Howard plays like that. And, that's kind of the theme of college football this year. You don't know these quarterbacks, what you're getting from game to game.
I thought that Texas, really for the first time this year, I think Clemson's a little bit better than Texas A&M. It's not by a lot, but I think they're a little bit better. Clemson takes the first drive of the game. They go down. They take half the quarter. They take 7.5 minutes off the clock, and they score. And from that point on, Texas goes on a 31. We're not talking about foot runs and foot. 31-3. I thought that was a big answer. I haven't seen
quarters. They smashed them. Yeah,
and that was with some sketchy execution on 3 separate fourth downs. Now, the last one was deep into the game, but you had a 4th down and 1 down inside, the 25, maybe the 30-yard line, where for some reason they ran a toss sweep. They don't get that.
Yeah.
They had another 4th and short where Ewers throws behind an open receiver that should have been a first down.
Yes.
That was in plus territory. Yeah. So this could have been worse.
Yes.
They could have had a bigger lead than what they did. So
it's like Sarkisian got a little too. They don't make it more complicated than it has to be.
Yeah.
You put that fullback near the goal, they weren't stopping him. So where is he on those plays? And even if you don't run it, play action to him.
Right.
Because you certainly got to respect that dude when he's in there on short yardage, and he just bowled through you before. So, yeah, yours is, man, it just – but I mean, we don't have a great Georgia. Is Ohio State capable? Did they show us Saturday night that they might be that team with that $20 million payroll?
Well, that defense has been good all year.
It has.
I haven't seen that defense really get exposed.
Well, their receivers as good as anybody. If Howard could get him the ball.
The freshman is as good as anybody, including Ryan Williams.
Smith and the other guy.
Yeah. If Will Howard plays even close, he doesn't have to play that well. I mean, he was close to perfect the other night. I can't ask for that again. But if I get 3/4 of that again, they're going to be hard to beat. I mean, Oregon hadn't lost a game the whole year. They've beaten Ohio State, and they're still an underdog to that team. Now, I realize that they beat Ohio State in Eugene.
It was at Eugene. But they were at the 29. I mean, if they don't get the offensive interference and kick a field goal, that's not that much to ask.
No, that game was what and what. I mean, they traded blows all day. Very equal teams, I thought.
I think, to me, coming out of that game, I felt that Ohio State was a little better. But Howard,
if they'd have played that game at the shoe, Ohio State probably
Dylan Gabriel ain't throwing a game like Howard did against Michigan. Not doing it. That's not happening. You
went from the absolute. I don't know if he's played worse than he did against Michigan in any game that he had at Kansas State, but that's got to be about as bad as he's ever played. And this is as good. In 2 weeks,
no argument at all.
In 2 weeks, you change up that much.
Yeah.
So if they get 3/4 of that, Will Howard.
But I think Texas can be the best. They might have the best roster. I think they're going to benefit, even though they lost. I think they benefit so much from playing Georgia again. So much. They haven't been pushed, and they still got a little sloppy on Saturday. Like you said, they got a little sloppy, or it should have been worse. But for 2.5 quarters, they kicked the crap out that team, man. I mean, they just – and this is a team that lost a couple of running backs back in August.
Yeah, they did.
I mean –
the reason that Texas impressed me on Saturday is I've been waiting on that offense for about a month, okay? Wasn't there against Georgia. Okay, Georgia's a really good defense. Wasn't there against A&M. Not as good a defense as Georgia, but a decent defense.
And then they did against Arkansas. Against Georgia, Charlie. And they moved the ball some against Georgia. They didn't finish drives.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal. But look, and I know yards. Man, what are you doing? We're trying to get yards.
But they didn't score against Arkansas either.
No. Yours was awful.
Yeah,
awful.
So that's 3 of the last 4 games.
No.
They were bad. That was rough.
They moved the ball against A&M. They didn't score.
Yeah, and he threw the.
They had over 450.
He threw the pick 6 down. What about the 15?
No. There was. I mean, I had A&M in that game. No way it should have been in that game. No way. So they could get. Why does the team get sloppy? Because you haven't been pushed. You're not challenged. There's no consequence. So you lose a game, it costs you. They could use a little bit more tightening up. I wonder if their schedule. I know they're playing these games are going to help them. Man, I just think they're really, really talented. I think they got a great draw. I mean, okay, the Ohio State-Oregon winner. Oh, you want to take them. That's fine, but Texas is in. Arizona State's not beating them. They're not beating them.
I don't think so either.
We just saw the pretenders, okay?
As much as I like Scatterboo and I like Sam Levitt, but
I love Indiana.
Yeah.
So do I.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
They're not.
Google me. I mean, but, I need some guys. He's got
to upgrade a little bit.
Oh, don't forget our friends at Legacy Title, Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings, 296-0060. Full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional services, which you get every time you call 296-0060. Our great staff at Legacy Title wants to wish you and yours Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. Ashley Donald, Mariana Haynes, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, and our buddy, Mr. Chad Reynolds. Legacy Title, 296-0060. Live at the Beau Rivage Sportsbook, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the Beau Rivage on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch, live here at the Beau Rivage. We certainly want to thank our friend, Mr. Carl Johnson, for rolling out the red carpet for us each and every week. We'll be back for 2 more weeks in the first weekend in January. In the third weekend in January. Next week, we will be back of Football Sunday over at the Queen. So we rotate all the way through the football season, all the way through the Super Bowl. We'll be back here at the Beau Rivage for the Super Bowl again. Of course, Super Bowl down in New Orleans. So, Charlie, have you seen the ratings comparison?
I have not.
I've been looking it up, and I'm kind of struggling finding it. So all I can find is CBS article on Dennis Dodd picking on Lane Kiffin for crying. So, I mean, but anyway, no, I can't. And, listen, we talked about we got to paint that picture, too, because, here's the NFL barging it. The NFL has always scheduled this late in the season.
Yeah.
You never had this many playoff games, so there's never a problem in the past. The NFL actually took one of their games off. They play a triple header on Saturday normally. So They took one off and just played 2. At least, I'm not saying that they did, but the NFL wanted 2 and 2, the college football playoff, to do that. But we know that midday, that Friday afternoon slot is not a good slot. They've done that before.
Right.
When I think it was Oklahoma and Clemson played in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And so before Alabama and Michigan State, on New Year's Eve.
Right. And I think that game that they moved from Saturday was the one that they moved to Black Friday. Is that right?
Oh, okay.
I think
they had a Black Friday game last year, too.
They did.
Jets, Miami.
It was the first one.
Who could forget it?
Oh, gosh, yes. It was just fabulous. They wanted – look, when the NFL decides they want in, usually – they come in and just they take over, and they had marquee games on. You had division leaders. You had these.
No,
were
they're
all
4
good
playoff
teams.
Yeah, they're 4 playoff teams. You got your Super Bowl back-to-back champion. No, they were big time games.
They didn't give us Jaguars Raiders. That would have been easier to ignore.
And they were both competitive. I mean,
they were.
Baltimore pulled away, but I mean, Pittsburgh was in that game.
Did you like a favorite? It was Chalk Central. All the
it's
college
not a
games.
good weekend for me. I mean, because
look, I went 0-5 on the picks. First time all year. First time I think in 3 years that I've gone 0-5. I thought all these underdogs had a fighting chance. I was wrong. None of them. Now Clemson could have got in the back door, but they didn't.
Probably should have.
Yeah, if they would have.
Now they were lucky to be in that position. I will say that sort of
because of the 4th and 1 was fumbled.
Because Texas got sloppy. They were a little bit fortunate, but once they had the chance, but when they got stoned on 3rd down, I'm like,
you better put the ball in the air.
And what happened? So.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, "Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody." Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Texas A&M, the last 2 games, and the 2 out of 3, and Texas, Clemson. Texas should have been winning by a wider margin. But Clemson gets that 1 yard, they're covering. A&M gets that 1 yard, they're covering. And so what do? On 4th and going for the 1?
Slam it right in there.
Off right tackle.
Slam
Off right tackle. And what was the result both times?
Got stoned. Just got absolutely slammed.
And Texas was, was soft for so long. They ain't soft, bro. Just that defensive front and those guys up front, and and give them credit because we act like, oh, well, man, they're in the SEC this year. The construction of this roster started the day they announced they were moving to the SEC. And they did it. You got and Mike Delicano, man, that's just smart. Take care of your linemen.
When NIL went live, they were right there at the front.
$50,000 a year. Yeah. No, you get $50,000 next year too. I mean, so no, it
seemed like such a groundbreaking amount of money at the time. It was 3 years ago, and now it's like $50,000. What, you want me to tip the waiter? I mean, come on, that's nothing now.
That's very and you know how these college football programs or boosters or people, they're just going to be pushing it up. I mean, even as embarrassing it was, and it was just single-handedly, I really thought SMU, man, I said, man, they gonna be fine. Man, they got Aller and a 3-and-out. Got a couple 3-and-outs to start the game, and they were moving the ball. I was like, I mean, these mistakes aren't going to happen the whole game. They did, but they're going to push the drop. I mean, I don't know where you're going to stop this thing. You can regulate. Okay, this is what we're going to do. It's still not going to stop them coming in for the individual player and throwing him an envelope of cash. I mean, this is,
and they have more cash.
They have the most. When we're talking about parents of current students, families of students, and alums, they got gazillionaires, all kinds.
I know. And how much? It's just a matter of how much do you want to spend. And there's no limit to it. I think that when they're employees at some point, and they're unionized, I think you may be able to collective bargain some type of restrictions, but I don't know, when that day is coming. So, yeah, you better have your checkbook when you go. Well, Miami just got involved again with another quarterback, the kid Mateer from Washington State, who was considered the top quarterback in the portal. Well, he's going to Oklahoma, but Oklahoma had to fight Miami off. Last year, Ohio State couldn't fight Miami off. They got Cam Ward.
Okay,
they had to settle for Will Howard. So it's Oklahoma against Miami. What if SMU decided that they wanted that quarterback?
And Miami needs to get back to, when you think of Miami, I mean, it wasn't a quarterback. Gino Toretto or Ken Dorsey, those guys were just caretakers. I mean, the freaking studs on the defensive line and their skill guys. Yeah. And, I mean, they need to go get that because Cam Ward, he couldn't have had a better season. And so, I mean, Cam Ward comes over there, and good for Cam Ward. Had one offer, incarnate word. One offer coming out.
Where
Ty Thompson had a lot more. I got my money on Cam Ward's going to have a better pro career than Ty Thompson, Charlie.
Oh, where can I make that bet? Carl and him taking action on that. I'll take that. I'll watch that game Friday. You were.
Oh,
I hope you were sick and sleeping at that point where you didn't watch that game because Thompson was terrible. And God bless, I like DJ Lagway, but oh my, did he try to keep them Tulane in the game?
He did keep them in the game.
That's two of the worst interceptions I saw all year, and not even an exaggeration. I mean, into triple coverage in the end zone. It's like, what are you doing? And they still won the game by 30 points.
Well,
I mean, they ran away from the second half, but Lagway was terrible. He had a really rough day.
What Kiffin used to do as an offense coordinator in Alabama, Jalen Hurts his first year, he was scared to death of him, so what he would do is just throw these extended handoffs and throw these horizontal screens over and over. And Aranda said, wait a minute, we going to stop this.
Yeah, we can take that away.
They didn't do anything, and he busted when they had like 3 holding penalties where Hurts ran for 50-yard touchdowns.
But
they didn't do anything the whole game. And it was unbelievable with Tulane. Tulane was running these play action, half roll, like half boot waggles to the fullback or the tight end. The easiest. he was struggling throwing these. They were trying to. Well, eventually, all the 11 guys are near the line of scrimmage, and then you throw it in because he was. Man, this guy's 4 and a 5-star coming out. Depending on who you went to. Went 3 years to Oregon. This guy was on Phil Steele's depth chart. He was the projected starter. And good for Tulane staff that they figured out the right guy to play. Because I can't believe Mensa's going to Duke. I can't believe the Duke quarterback. You won 9 games at Duke. You're doing something right. Is that Oregon State? What the hell's going on?
I thought both of those were strange. And then Jackson Arnold ends up at Auburn. Today they got the number 1 receiver in the portal, the kid Singleton from Georgia Tech, signs with Auburn. So they got him some, some pieces to work with there. But I didn't think Jackson Arnold was anything special either. If I was Auburn, I would have taken Mensa before I would have taken Jackson Arnold.
Our Auburn friends were not happy. Yes, yeah. For sure.
I would have taken –
I don't think Mensa had any SEC offers. I can't believe that.
No.
Guy's good. He's a redshirt freshman. Who had a better year than him?
Can I think about it?
Yeah. Okay. Total Maintenance, one of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies since 1980. My buddy Lucas Ragusa over at Total Maintenance. Hey, man, they got a service today, every day. That means you call today, you get service today. Same-day service. You'll never sleep hot. Well, it's chilly right now, but you know what? That heating check, we're leaning on those heaters right now, and I got a great deal right now. Normally, the Jimmy Ott special is normally $179 for a one-time heater or AC check. It's just $79. We're going to save you $100 if you mention my name, Jimmy Ott, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. Mention my name also and get half off the diagnostics, including after-hour appointments, holidays, and weekends. We have membership programs that cover all the services that we offer with discounts and extended warranties as well. And they'll get you on that regular schedule to get your unit cleaned and checked. That way, it's lower monthly bills. It extends the lifetime of your unit. So it is a wise choice. But I mean, and we'll keep track of when those checks are due. You got enough to worry about. Total Maintenance. We are Total Maintenance with offices and crews in both Baton Rouge and New Orleans. Baton Rouge number is 480-1000, 480-1000.
Live at the Beau Rivage, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the Beau Rivage on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Tough blow for Notre Dame as Marcus Freeman announces that Riley Mills, who's one of their best defensive linemen, had 7.5 sacks this season, is out for the rest of the postseason. He went down in the game against Indiana the other night. That's a significant loss for the Irish. 19 tackles, but 7.5 sacks, and he's going to miss the rest of the postseason.
Yeah, they kept showing it, and it was, post game, he was like, we'll see, but I think he's got a knee, so I want
having to buy has some benefits.
That's the first thing that came to my mind too. I think that when you're forced to play another, an extra game, this is, it's one of the things that can happen, and it happens in NFL playoffs as well. Teams get dressed up, but the team that can get out of it, sometimes they get into a little bit of a rhythm. A little bit get on a little bit of a roll, like Howard. So when in Ohio State, Aller looked terrible too, Charlie.
He did.
He looked bad.
I always expect him to be better than he ends up being. There's some similarities with McCord, was at Ohio State, went to Syracuse this year. They look the part. They got the big build, they got the big arm, but the results don't always follow. And I thought McCord got a lot better this year at Syracuse. Now, he had that one clunker game, but I thought overall he was much more adept.
I mean, but look, the seeding has no shot to maintain. I mean, Oregon, Ohio State playing each other. Penn State gets SMU and Boise. No shot. No shot.
You got me.
And that's right. And we didn't kill it beforehand. We touched on it a little bit. We had to see it, but no, it's done.
Hour number 2, straight ahead from the Beau Rivage, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the Beau Rivage on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Merry Christmas to everybody as we get ready to break for the holidays. We'll be back on Thursday, but we'll take the next 2 days off to enjoy the holiday. I don't know how much the Saints are going to enjoy the holiday tonight. They're going to be...
ET is Ryan Seacrest here. People always say it's good to unwind, but that's easier said than done. The exception, Chumba Casino. They actually make it easier done than said, or at least the same. Chumba Casino is an online social casino with hundreds of casino-style games like slots and blackjack. Play for fun. Play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Sign up now and collect your free welcome bonus at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, "Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody." Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this: everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
In sub-freezing temperatures. It's snowing in Green Bay right now. It's not supposed to snow during the game. Saints are a 2-touchdown underdog, which, Jimmy, I'm seeing 14.5 now. That'd make it the biggest spread for the Saints in 30 years. They haven't been an underdog that big since 94.
They've been competitive, though. I mean, they're not like acting like the Giants, the Raiders, the Browns, the Titans. I mean, the Saints have, until yesterday, New England. I don't put the Saints in that category. Do you?
No, they're better than those teams. They lose a 1-point game to the Commanders on a 2-point conversion. They beat the Giants. They were tied with the Rams with about, 6 minutes to go, 7 minutes to go, ish, something like that. They beat the Browns. They beat the Falcons. And that's the Rizzi era so far right now. There was a piece today about, hey, he wants to be considered for the job.
Really?
I'm sure he does. He does. I don't think the Saints are going to go in that direction, but you never know. That game on Monday Night Football tonight, boy, Jaden Daniels yesterday, huh? If you're looking for signature moments for his rookie season, the Hail Mary.
He was awesome, huh?
The touchdown against the Bengals in the primetime game. The Hail Mary, and then yesterday, the game-winning drive, 21 points in the fourth quarter, 22 points in the fourth quarter. They beat the Eagles, snapped the Eagles' 10-game win streak.
How many interceptions did he have?
2. He had 5 touchdowns.
But they had 5 turnovers.
They had 5 turnovers. He fumbled once, and they had Robinson fumbled twice, and they had another fumble besides that.
Now,
so
the
5 turnovers, and he had 5 touchdown passes.
I mean, obviously, you can't win a game when you turn over 5 times. Now, Jalen Hurts' injury. Now, our buddy Squirrel that was here drove me absolutely nuts, but he did call that one yesterday. And when he said, he banged his head, he got a concussion right there, and they took him out. And Pickett, Pickett, does he room with A.J. Brown? Are they room dogs?
I don't know, but
he threw to him every time, Charlie. It was funny. It was hilarious.
And when he finally did, so think about the Devontae Smith drop. Eagles put the game away right there.
Yes, it's over.
They're on a knee.
That guy.
And you don't.
Pickett did okay.
Yeah, he was fine. Nothing spectacular. He didn't get him beat.
Hurts being out the game hurt the Eagles' chances, but gave Washington a little bit of a chance because of the 5 turnovers, but Daniels is great. The 4th and 11 scramble.
Yeah.
I mean, and he does that, and he's getting down. He is protecting himself, but you don't want to. I mean, he's got to have that club in his bag at this point. But he throws a deep ball. I think Kingsbury's a little bit too much of his Texas Tech underneath offense. This guy throws a deep ball as good as anybody right now. I'm not talking about a rookie. I'm talking about anybody in the league. He throws as good of a deep ball. He puts air under it. He hit a couple of them yesterday. You got to, loosen things up. The broadcast team was talking about it. They had the sound on here at the Beau Rivage on that game. And, dude, why you don't adapt to your quarterback. How many quarterbacks suck at throwing a deep ball? And you got one that can do it? Man, do it. I mean, the one, he gives the receiver time to make a play on the ball.
The one to McLaurin in the front corner of the end zone was a beautifully thrown ball.
Yeah.
That's just a monster win. I understand Hurts being out, but they're battling for a playoff spot. It's it's very close, and
they're still a game ahead of. Is it the Rams still?
The Seahawks.
Seattle. Well, no, the game on Seattle.
That's right.
So they get a little cushion there.
They have a game lead on the Rams and a 2-game lead on everybody else.
So yeah, they picked up a game on Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
No, Charlie, they have a 2-game lead in the wild card now over Tampa Bay and Seattle.
Yeah, because the Rams are in first place in the division. That's right. That's right. What a hell of an accomplishment to get your team in the playoffs in your rookie season.
So they clinch yet or
no? They haven't clinched.
But pretty much yesterday was their clinch. Seattle loses a very competitive game at home against the Vikings. Freaking Vikings, 13-2.
I know
they're pretty good in close games, huh?
They are, and
golly,
they were estimating this morning what Darnold's contract is going to be. I was telling you somewhere around $35 million a year. The Geno Smith, I shot low. They're talking about 3 years, $150. it's right just under $50 million.
Low, Charlie. It's just
well,
that's just your style.
I'm not taking in the inflation or whatever. I mean, the quarterback salaries go up every year.
I could tell you one job that you don't need. You don't need to
auditor.
The collective for LSU.
I don't want that job.
Because you're shooting low on all the guys.
Right. $50 million a year for Sam Darnold, but they win again.
Well, I mean, is he? What do? You Minnesota. He's your guy, huh? I mean, what's the old thing? 1 in the hand's better than 2 in the bush, or something like that.
Bird in the hand.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, your coach is not leaving, right? Okay, so
no.
I mean, if Darnold leaves, say if he goes to, I don't know, pick an average team, maybe Tampa Bay. So what's his name leaves? He goes to Tampa Bay. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how he's going to do without O'Connell, but I see what he can do with O'Connell.
Yeah,
but Jefferson's good, man. Yeah, this just
he's
God, he's good.
If you were the Raiders, who won yesterday and cost themselves significant draft position with it, and I know that the players are playing hard, and I get all that, but it knocks them out of the opportunity probably to draft either one of the top 2 quarterbacks without trading up. Would you trade that pick straight up for J.J. McCarthy? If you're the Raiders, and Sanders and Ward are off the board. Now, you can take any other quarterback in college if you want, but those 2 guys off the board, would you trade that pick for McCarthy? I don't think they would, but if I was Minnesota, I'd take that deal in a heartbeat, and then go out and take the best player on the board.
Well, I mean, you just drafted him where last year?
I think it was 11.
Okay, so you're gonna take the 3rd pick for the 11th pick?
No, the Raiders are down at 7.
Oh, 7.
Yeah.
Oh, that win was all the way from 1 to 7.
They were tied for 1. Yeah.
Okay, tied for 1 to 7.
Because you got this whole group of teams, New England, Jacksonville, Tennessee, Cleveland. Now, they could get as high as 3rd if the strength of schedule. But right now, they're off.
Our many contributors from Las Vegas. There was the common theme going into the Jacksonville game for the Raiders.
Yeah, tank.
No. I'm worried. Only the Raiders can screw this up. If anybody can screw this up, it's probably the Raiders. Oh, man. Wow.
And I asked our friend Paul here, who lived in California for a long time, as a lifelong Raider fan. I asked him if this was before they won the game, Sanders or Ward, who do you want? And hey, he couldn't give me a side. He's like, I really don't know, which is the answer I get most often when I ask that question. And I know who I would take. I would take Ward.
I'd take Cam Ward.
If for no other reason, I don't want the distraction of Deion. And maybe that's not fair to Shedeur, but it's just reality. I don't think that there's a ton of difference between the upside on the two of them. I think neither one of them are locked to be great quarterbacks, but I think that they both have a lot of talent. And if it's close, I don't want because if I'm the Raiders, let's say that they would have stuck there, and they struggle next year out the gate as a rookie, what do you think the first story is going to be? When's Deion going to coach the team? Be the same thing in New York. When they're going to run Dayball out, and when's Deion going to coach the team? I'd almost say that if I was going to take Shedeur, I'd probably hire Deion. Just say, okay, look, if you're gonna meddle anyway, I just didn't give you the job and put you in the building. Now he says he's saying it's at Colorado, but if his son's start quarterback for the Giants, who knows?
I mean, I don't know how special he is either, Charlie. I don't know.
He, as a college coach, I think he's done two things really well.
No. As a college coach, I mean, look, yes, he gives a low expectation, low resource program some juice. Absolutely.
He put together a very good staff there, and he also used the transfer portal. Fantastic. Now the question is, you got two of the top three players in college football to come with you from Jackson State, because one of them's your son and the other one's his best friend. Yeah, are you going to be now? He did get a top 5 player in the recruiting, so we'll see if he can keep that going.
Yeah, but I mean, getting Colorado to 8-4,
to relevance. Yeah,
I mean,
you're going to the last weekend
that's
playing,
great, but I mean, what's different with Deion Sanders doing there and what Stoops did at Kentucky? Whole different approach. But he made a weak program respectable.
They got closer to a conference championship than Stoop ever did, but it's a different. I was trying to finish. I know it's a much different. Hey, he won at Jackson State too. I mean, he's won at
Jackson State still winning.
They are.
They still winning.
He won at two different programs.
They still won. Okay.
Let's see how he does without the Heisman Trophy winner, and his son is a starting quarterback who's maybe the number 1 pick in the draft.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody. Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The wrong guy's going to get drafted number 1. I can tell you that, no matter who it is. Travis Hunter should be drafted number 1. I mean,
he's the number 1 player on the board. The quarterbacks always go up at the top.
Why?
They shouldn't.
Why? The quarterbacks
the
quarterbacks are. These guys aren't as highly rated as many others before them that did not make it. These guys aren't close to being the overall grade that Trevor Lawrence was.
Well,
not close.
No, nowhere near. I'll tell you this: if the Giants were to luck up and win a game, and New England or Jacksonville ends up with the first pick, which they're both right there, they would take Travis Hunter, or they might trade out of the pick. But if they kept it, they would certainly take him.
Don't forget my friends over at MR Property Group. That's right. Miriam Del Rio and Remy Curry. If you're buying, selling, or investing, these ladies can help you out. They're LSU alums, big LSU sports fans, and it always makes for a more pleasant experience to partner up in this process with someone with a common interest. You know, they understand that there are no dumb questions. This is very important. Just because we do this, we're not going to get agitated with any type of questions you have. There are no dumb questions. This is a big deal. So, but when you do lean on them for advice or direction, they're going to give you their share their knowledge with you. Low pressure suggestions when asked. That's right. They are client centric. Great at negotiating for whichever. For the sellers, got a great track record of getting top dollar for their property in the Baton Rouge and surrounding areas. For the buyer, maybe getting that right price or just the right conditions. You want a little bit of a flooring allowance or something like that. No problem. They will negotiate the deal for you. They're used to doing it, and they know exactly the right things to ask for and to get in this process. So, I mean, and you know what? If you're thinking about selling, you may not realize just how much equity you do have in your home. So buying, selling, or investing, MR Property Group with Keller Williams, Red Stick Partners in Baton Rouge, Miriam Del Rio and Remy Curry, 230-4242, 230-4242.
Live at the Beau Rivage, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the Beau Rivage on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Today's show brought to you in part by Home Bank, Louisiana-based since 1908, with CDs right now for longer and shorter terms with low minimum balances. Your opportunity to stack up some more returns on your money. Talk to one of the local bankers at any Baton Rouge location, corporate, Sherwood Forest, Longform Village, and Bluebonnet, also with locations in Acadiana, New Orleans, and North Shore, Natchez, and Houston. Visit home24bank.com for more information. Home Bank, member FDIC. Michael Penix in his debut for the Falcons yesterday. We watched this game, Jimmy. This was one of the ones we had spotlighted because we wanted to watch Penix. The stat line doesn't look great, but he played much better than what that would have indicated. 2 drops on the first drive. We counted at least 4 for the game, including the one that turns into an a little
bit more than that,
including the one that ended up being his only interception of the day. The Falcons routed the Giants,
and we're not talking about some balls that the guy's fully extended, barely gets a hand on it, things like that. I mean, we're talking about the drop of Pitts. It was, I mean, that was terrible, man. That guy is such a bust. He looked good. You're 100% right. His performance was way better than his box score. His box score wasn't terrible, but he looked sharp and looked comfortable. He throws a nice ball. He's pretty accurate with it. I thought he had some good command. I mean, I thought he looked really good. And you say the Giants, okay? Giants got out. Excuse me, Charles. He got out to 7-0 lead. Locke was playing. Okay, here they go. They're playing tough. You know, are they going to show up or not? And I thought Penix was. I was impressed. And it's just one game. You know, though, after about a handful of starts, you know, then it's the opposing defenses are going to, okay, he has these tendencies. We want to take these tendencies away, and then he's got to grow, you know, a little bit, you know, and readjust. But I think Atlanta might have their quarterback.
Well, you know, they're going to let Cousins go in the offseason. It's going to cost them a fortune. But we see once again, Jimmy, that quarterbacks that are thrust into the starting lineup in week 1 of their rookie year look, man, every now and then you hit a Jaden Daniels. Last year, C.J. Stroud did it. But you're so much more prepared. Drake May, how much more comfortable did Drake May look? We'll never know what he would have looked like in week one, but I know that by the time he got it was just about a month. I think he sat 4 games, but it gave him a chance to get his bearings. How much better does Bryce Young look now than he did at the beginning of last year?
Boy, he had a day yesterday, Charlie.
He did. He's getting better. I'll give him credit. At the beginning, I was like,
he was great
man, I don't
yesterday.
know. He was terrific. And Caleb Williams right now is not.
No,
is not.
No.
And
that's a JV defense they're playing against too with Detroit.
They have 15 players out, I think.
It's
and now it's not that Williams doesn't make some plays. There were some throws he made yesterday that looked phenomenal. I mean, some frozen ropes. That one at the end of the first half when they scored a touchdown with under a minute to go.
Yeah.
It's a gorgeous throw. But a lot of the times, man, he's getting beat up and he's having to force things. And you just wonder, man, if you just have a little bit of patience. And it's a hard thing to do. It's not the media. It's not the fans. I think it's the owners. I cracked up with Ro yesterday. Rohan Davey does Football Sunday with us, and I said, Arthur Blank doesn't really have a reputation as a melon. Oh, yeah, he is. Oh, yeah, he is. But at least this time they allowed, and signing Cousins was a mistake. Okay, I'm all for putting a quarterback out there to let your rookie get his feet under him, but that's when you go sign Gardner Minshew. You go sign somebody. That's when you go sign Jacoby Brissett. You just somebody to keep the seat warm for 6 games or 8 games or whatever it is you need.
Well, think about why Penix, why he didn't. Where did they draft him?
8.
They draft 8th every year. How many quarterbacks went ahead of him?
3. Williams, Daniels, and May. McCarthy went after him.
I mean, I think he was as good as anybody. They're throwing the ball in college. The injury list. I mean, he can't run like Daniels. Daniels is the star of this class.
Yes,
but
and of course, Nick's winning the first round too.
Williams does he can do some things that not everybody can. I mean, he got some pop in an arm. But the problem with him is it's all fastballs. Man, throw some passes with some touch. He got one pitch, and so when it calls for hitting that seam, that guy on the run between the cornerback and safety, he can put it there, 20, 25 yards in the seam. But man, when it calls for a little touch, finesse, I'm not, what? Because he throws sidearm sometimes like Mahomes. I mean, no, that's not getting. That don't impress me.
Well,
but I think Penix is going to be. Penix throws a good ball, man.
He does.
He looks.
You buy into some of the drops because they're not used to the lefty. You hear that sometimes. I don't know. It comes out a little bit different.
It does, but no, these were bad drops, man.
Yeah, they were
bad.
Here's where I take up for Williams, though. He got sacked 2 more times yesterday. 60 sacks, man.
No, you got to be fair.
God bless, he's getting beat up.
Yeah,
and that's a hard way to fly when you get hit. Hit that often.
I think though, with Bryce Young yesterday, Charlie, there were some times where there were guys just they didn't really have any separation. He was sticking that ball in there somehow, some way, and it was one of the funnest games they had. It was
bad as a game as bad as the game were Saturday. The college games yesterday in the NFL. Washington, Philadelphia was fantastic.
Okay, Cleveland, Cincinnati was a turd.
No, they weren't all great. Okay,
that was
but
so bad.
Cardinals, Panthers, Vikings, Seahawks. Bills had to come from behind against the Patriots. Dolphins and Niners was very competitive, and Cowboys Bucks last night was really entertaining. Okay. There was some entertainment value in the league yesterday. No, not all of them.
No, they win. I mean, it's
even your Titans made a run late.
Oh, that was cosmetic. That thing, they never had a chance.
I know. I'm giving you grief.
They never had a chance. But you know what the story of that was? I missed the boat. I was off. All right, you want to talk about your player prop, anytime TD.
Jonathan Taylor.
A guy with 0 touchdown receptions in 14 games was only plus 115. That is the Roto-Rooter stinky line of the century, okay? 0 for 14. Now, he has 1 touchdown, but that was rushing, the tight end. And they've been talking about, I'm going to get him his touchdown. I'm going to get him. One time they threw to him, he was triple covered in the end zone. The Carolina was not going to let it happen. But it was the guy who's been a really good player who did the dumbest thing in the league last year that's probably going to cost his team a playoff spot, and that's Taylor with the Colts. They need him.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody. Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Need him, they need him. So they fed him. You know when that guy makes a mistake, the guy drops the ball. Oh, I'm going to come right back to you. Like Justin Jefferson drops a ball, or Chase, or St. Brown. They go right back to him. No, we getting you right back in the game. Dude, they fed him, and they fed him, and they fed him. How many touchdowns did he have?
3. 200 yards. 218.
What was the 3 touchdown prop? 150 to 1?
Oh, I
80 to 1?
Yeah,
something.
I'm sure.
It was higher than 115.
I didn't even look.
They fed him, and he ran with the ball through the chute, out the end zone.
He looked like Bo Jackson. Remember when Bo Jackson ran up the tunnel?
Bo Jackson
after
Bosworth
was chasing
Miami
him?
in the Cotton Bowl. What was
the receiver.
Hill.
Randall Hill. Hill. That's when they outlawed it. He's shooting his pistols, boy. I watched that the other night again. That's when it's like Shawshank Redemption, man. When if Shawshank's on, I'll watch 20 minutes of it. If that 30 by 30 is on, it
was so good. They did 2 of them.
Yes, they were fantastic.
It was so good. But my man was running, and he was crossing the goal like he was poking his chest out in the game.
He was doing it. They called it the George Jefferson. He's doing the George Jefferson. And so what they did, they made the rules the next year. Said the whole tape was us. The stuff you can't do.
Yes. Don't forget our friends at Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Lee, just off of Nicholson, across from Mike Anderson's buddy Kyle Rogers, doing a great job over there at Los Reyes. We love going over there doing the show monthly. When I go to the Queen, I love stopping on the way home over at Los Reyes. Miss Blair behind the bar, she's friendly. They've got those contour remote controls. Boop, you'd say, get on the games. They got 3 games going on always at the main bar. Got a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30 happy hour, 7 days a week. 7 days a week over at Los Reyes Mexican Grill. We're going to be there later this week on Thursday, so we'll be working the day after Christmas. On Thursday, we'll be coming to you live from Los Reyes. Love those bowls, I love the fajita steak tacos, a burrito. EJ likes the chicken. He likes the shredded chicken or the grilled chicken for his burrito. Get a little queso sauce. You can do a verde sauce. It's a great extensive menu with all kinds of fresh Mexican food, all your favorites. And their guacamole is outstanding. Yes, indeed. Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Lee, just off of Nicholson, right across from Mike Anderson's. Tell them you heard about us right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live live at lunch here from the Beau Rivage, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the Beau Rivage on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
We're brought to you in part by Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, helping you deal with pain. Dr. Michael Goff and his staff. Merry Christmas from the staff at Louisiana Family. Deal with neck pain, back pain, tightness in your muscles, things that are keeping you from getting a good night's sleep or maybe kind of restricting your movement a little bit. Everything's from exercise and stretching programs to adjustments, dry needling, electric nerve stimulation, cryotherapy, and ultrasound therapy. Let them help you out, get you to feeling better this holiday season. Airline Highway, Plank Road, Jefferson Highway near Drusilla. Dr. Michael Goff, Louisiana Health and Injury Centers.
Charlie, let me ask you one thing. The kid for SMU, once they made the move from Preston Stone to I forget his
Kevin
name.
Jennings.
Yeah. I mean, it brought him up a notch, okay? Jennings was bad, but Preston Stone threw for like 3,500 yards last year. You're playing in the playoff. Can you not sit Jennings down for a little bit? How about for the game? How about trying something different? Are you afraid that he's going to leave your team? He's going to get upset? I mean, what is Rhett Lashley doing there? I mean, this guy did not have it. And you got a guy that has thrown for a gazillion yards. You got a guy that's a capable backup right there.
Yeah, he was on the sideline the other night, right? Because he transferred to Northwestern today is why I'm asking.
Okay.
But I was pretty sure he was on the sideline. I don't think it's a bad idea. I'll just tell you what I've heard most coaches say when their quarterbacks have stunk it up in a playoff game or a Super Bowl or something like that. You dance with who brung you.
Okay, but
I get
perspective for at least a drive.
Yeah,
a couple of drives, huh? You got. I mean, hey man, you got to. He kept doing it and doing it and doing it. No, dude, you got to sit down for a little bit.
You go out there and you wonder if you took him out for a drive, would you do more harm than good? But how much worse could you have done? And
Bryce Young, did he not benefit from sitting for a little bit?
He did.
Okay. I mean, I've seen other quarterbacks too. I've seen guys. I mean, stars, and he's your star. He is. But that's even if you got the guys taking maybe 15 snaps. This guy threw for 3,500 yards last year.
Yeah. When you get to that point, I guess the reluctance is that you've seen this guy. I'm sure he's had other bad plays this year and shook him off. Not maybe as bad as Saturday.
The guy,
I know.
The environment, the stage, it got to him.
It
the
did.
Cold. Okay, whatever. No way to say, 20% playing in front of 100,000 for the first time. 20% playing. Everything got. He was so out of character. Well, that's when you take him. It's not like the 1950s where you got to, if you come out for a quarter, you got to sit out the whole quarter.
How much different is it if he runs for that first down and that drive where he throws the ball to tight end on fourth down? Well, he would have made it. They would have had first and goal.
Well, I think both games, the first two games, they both have red zone opportunities. Indiana got the third down throw. After they got the pick near midfield, they connected on the ball down the left side, and their first down inside the 20. Had Indiana scored there, 3 or 7, let's say even 7, okay, it was a matter of time. They were so inferior at the line of scrimmage, it would have made it way more respectable, more competitive, but it was a matter of time when you're that outmatched up front, as they were on both sides of the line. SMU would have been different. The kid might have been different. Sure, if he's got something positive to happen there, would he have been doing this? Charlie, so many. And just get the first there. That's a big conversion. And they called a great play.
Yeah.
I mean, they sucked him in on the play action. He can move. He's easy. And the problem is that, if that's 75 degrees, the tight end probably holds on to the ball. But in that cold ball, when he got hit, it popped out immediately. But they score there. I think SMU had a real chance to beat. Penn State did not impress me at all. Not at all.
Taking Boise State in the points?
I don't know, man. Boise State barely beat Nevada, man. Come on. We want to talk about the Oregon close loss a lot, but, they barely beat Nevada. The best win's UNLV. Great.
Twice.
Oh, yes. Both times in Vegas.
Home and home.
You know, come on, man. You know.
This
is not basketball, man. There's no three-point line. You're going to have some guys up front.
It might have helped Jimmy if they'd yanked him. I was trying to think of.
It couldn't have hurt.
No, it couldn't have. I mean, he couldn't have done any worse.
It could not have been worse. It could no way. So, I mean, hey, if Stone moves us a little bit or whatever, but then we got to, that calms down. Just to sit and have perspective and just you take guys out of games all the time. Get a little break. Just sit, watch for a second, a couple plays, a series, a quarter, whatever it is.
Did you go to Super Bowl 12 in New Orleans?
What was that?
Broncos Cowboys.
I did not.
They pulled Craig Morton in that game.
I remember
for Norris Weiss.
Chalmette Flash, huh? The owl.
For Norris Weiss, who could move a little bit, and they waited till the Cowboys would have won the game anyway. But
Norris Weiss gave him a little bit of a spark.
He could run, and this is 77, I believe it was. I remember members of that Cowboy defense saying, "Look, man, we were fine with Morton being in the game. We knew where he was going to be." We moved around a little bit, but they waited too long. They were down 3 scores by the time they did that.
Well, if Beck finishes the game against Texas, no way to prove it. I don't think they're winning. But this kid came in and was running. Yeah. I mean, all due respect, if Rowe doesn't get hurt, I don't know. But damn, it was just Malk was more of a runner than Rohan.
And he ran for 50 yards in that game. I looked it up. Because I would remember, in my head, it was more than that. But he had Tennessee's defense on their heels. Just a threat to him running. So he only had to run for 50 yards, and it kept them really, really.
They ran it 10 times. Quarterback draw 10 times.
Yeah, and it kept Tennessee at bay. They were able to make other plays because of that.
I mean, A&M. Wegman was. Wegman for the. And so. Especially when it's a different style of quarterback. And Stone is more of a pocket passer than the kind of the athlete. It just, what can it hurt? You can't. What's the old saying? Insanity? He didn't have it. He was so out of it, man.
What did you say? What did you say yesterday? They're scared to coach these guys. They are scared to hurt feelings.
There's no doubt. They're scared to coach. That's why I'm just watching this game, and it's a bowl game. It's a fake punt. The punter throws the ball 30 yards downfield, and the guy intercepts it, and they're going crazy. He falls down. What cost his team 30 yards? But they're celebrating. He's running around. Like that. Once upon a time, the coach is like, "What are you doing? Knock the ball down."
Who was that yo-yo that did that yesterday? Ran the ball out of the end zone, fell down on the one. What game was that? Was it the Bengals? The Bengals had a 99-yard drive.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now you wanna get mixed up in the family business?
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather, now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, "Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody." Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back. And we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this. Everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Who was that?
The Jets? It was the Jets.
It was the Jets.
The Jets had a 99-yard drive.
God. What? Yes. Yes.
Yeah, because the Bengals fumbled. The Browns fumbled on the 1.
First and goal for the 1.
First and goal.
Yeah.
They ruled it a touchdown. They went back and looked at it. He fumbled on the 1. It's Jerome Ford, and it was the right call. The Bengals got it. They went 99 yards. Did you see the record that Burrow set yesterday?
Mm-mm.
7th consecutive game with 250 yards and at least 3 touchdowns.
Oh, wow.
7 games, he's 24 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
So he got it?
The throw to Chase at the end?
Yeah, guy was jumped off sides.
Yeah.
Get up the field, Jamar. I'm taking my shot. Because they were just running the clock at that time.
Good quarterbacks take advantage of that. Drew Brees was one of the best I've ever seen at it. You brought up Dan Marino while we were watching the game. He was terrific at that. Yeah, you got a free play, and he does know where Chase is.
Yes,
all the time. If the Bengals were just a little bit better, man, he'd be right there in the heart of this MVP race.
So they got to beat Denver, obviously, and then they need a Denver loss to KC and a win against Pittsburgh to get in.
Yeah. I think they hold every other tiebreaker.
That's going to be. I mean, they lead. Are the Chargers to lose 2 games?
I think hang on. Let me look at this.
The Chargers are. The Chargers got them done. They can't catch it because
but the
Chargers beat them.
Yeah, they had the head-to-head on them. Yeah, the Bengals have got to win 2. The Broncos have got to lose 2, and that would.
So did Cincinnati play Miami or Indianapolis?
Cincinnati, I'm looking at the Colts here. Cincinnati did not play the Colts. Who else?
Well, the Colts own a tiebreaker, and the Colts got 2 easy games.
Okay. Well, that's already.
What do they play this week? Because they play Jacksonville the last week. Let me see. They play the Giants in Jacksonville.
That's about as easy as you. It's about as easy as you can get.
So they need that. They need Denver to lose. Well, they just need lose their last game. They'll play them this one, but no, it's going to be too little, too late.
They looked at.
They didn't play Miami, did they?
No, they.
Miami would own the tiebreaker too. Miami's got at Cleveland and the Jets.
They're still
breathing. Those two.
They're still.
It was a big win for them yesterday.
Yeah, I was watching
Miami.
Patrick Everson. Said that has the Denver Cincinnati game has the early lead on most handle for next week. The Cincinnati Denver game next week.
I didn't see the number. I would say that Cincinnati opened up about 3.5, and got bet up.
Hang on just a second. I'll tell you. Next week, the Bengals are 3.5. 3.5. I don't know where it opened, but it's 3.5. 3.5 right now.
Okay.
So, at any rate,
probably too little, too late.
Yeah. The game that drives me crazy, the season opener. Taylor's lost, I think, 4 or 5 openers out of 6. I think he's won 1. You have the Patriots at home. You got to win that game. Of all of the games, I mean,
he loses every year. He loses
they're the number of games that they were right there, to win either one of the Ravens games. Did they have the lead in the Charger game? Or was it tied? We were here watching the Sunday night game.
They were tied. Yeah. They tied it up and had the ball, and he had the ball twice.
They lost to the Chiefs by a point. Any one of those games, but the Patriots they really should have beaten. Really, really should have beaten.
Well, first game, kind of. I don't know.
They should have played in week 0. Work the kinks out. Heard that somewhere before.
Rhett Lashley. No, we're just going to keep rolling him out there. Oh, boy. What you going to do? We're off tomorrow. We're off Christmas. I believe the whole staff is, the whole lineup is off. So we'll be back on Thursday. We'll be at the Los Reyes Mexican Grill. So that'll be on Thursday. We do remind everybody about our friends at K&M Automotive, Jason Payne and K&M Automotive on Seagan near Perkins. The only place I take my vehicle, 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. Engine light comes on, anything you need, bring him over there. He's going to be busy now because he has so much repeat customers. Because the one thing we worry about them, just give me a fair shake. Don't upcharge me for unnecessary work. I'm not a trained mechanic. I really don't know. He's going to give you 9. He's going to try and find you a repair option instead of replace, to try and give you that option. Said, oh, yeah, you're going to get rung up here. No, really did. It's the only place I take my vehicle. You got engine problems, engine light comes on, brakes to tires to oil change, you name it, transmission. Bring it to K&M Automotive on Sieg near Perkins, right across from Ambrosia Bakery.
Live at the Beau Rivage, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the Beau Rivage on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Baseball lost a legend over the weekend. Rickey Henderson passed away at the age of 65. Jimmy, Rickey Henderson, as unique as any player that's ever put on a pair of spikes, I could stop right here. He scored more runs than anybody in baseball history. All right, so that's a pretty significant stat. And, of course, he's most known for the stolen bases, which he stole
got the most there, too.
The most stolen bases by a wide margin. We like to have these debates all the time about great assists and great at in various sports, you know, LeBron versus MJ or Montana versus Mahomes or Brady or whatever. Do you know anybody that doesn't think Rickey Henderson was the greatest leadoff hitter of all time?
I would say I just worry about some of the new approach to lead off. I mean, Kyle Schwarber's bats lead off.
And hit, 40 home runs last year?
I mean, bat him third. I mean, come on, man. You know, how many stolen bases does he have? I mean, what's his on-base percentage? Fine, but, I mean, you're wasting those home runs with nobody on base.
Yeah.
Show Ohtani. That's lead off.
Yeah.
Really? I mean,
Henderson's all-time on-base percentage is over 400. Only 62 guys in baseball history have done that.
You want get on-base percentage, get a threat to steal, getting a cheap run early by getting on. Now he also had some pop.
He did. He led off a game with a home run 80 times. It's half a season.
Yeah. I don't like the compilers, but he compiled at a ridiculous. It was high level for a long time.
He led the league in runs scored 5 times. He led the league in stolen bases 11 times. He led the league in walks 4 times. He led the league in on-base plus slugging in OPS for a leadoff hitter. He won an MVP. He was a 10-time All-Star. He won multiple gold. Actually, 1 Gold Glove.
No, he wasn't a great outfielder.
He had the little flip.
No, he was not a big arm at all. He played left field. He could run him down.
Yeah,
obviously, but no.
Won an MVP. Was in the top 10 in the MVP voting half a dozen times, and of course, his personality was unique. Oh. He referred to himself in the third person.
Oh, he was out there. I mean, but all he could do is laugh. But
that guy could still run in his 40s. I mean, at the age of at the age of 41, he stole 31 bases. At 41, man.
When you're trying to say he's obviously the greatest leadoff. It's not close. Who's number 2? And when you look at it, you think, number 2, it's a drop-off. I don't care who you bring up.
It's my de facto answer is always Tim Raines, but, how many times – I'd have to go look it up. How many times Pete Rose hit leadoff? He hit leadoff mostly
Reeves
for the big red.
Wasn't a threat on the bases, though.
But he had so many damn hits. He didn't hit leadoff. I think he hit outside the leadoff hole more than he hit in the leadoff hole. He hit leadoff for the big red machine.
On-base percentage, and what was Ricky's?
Henderson.
They both played very deep into their career.
They did.
So that's going to even out.
Henderson's was 401, and Pete's. Oh gosh, let's see. He finished with.
One more thing as you're looking at
375
in their lowest spot when they got swept by the Reds.
Yeah.
Rickey Henderson was the only one that was really playing, that performed in that series.
Yeah, he was MVP of the league that year.
Everybody, I mean, McGuire and Canseco. Man, they had a rough. Nobody else but Rickey.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Enjoy the holiday. We'll be back on Thursday. For Jimmy Ott and Jordan, I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer.
Live at lunch.
The Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau. You're still looking for that last-minute gift idea. They are open today. You get out, the Cypress furniture is beautiful. Rockers, gliders, swings, benches, chairs, all available there. Crawfish pots, jambalaya pots, grills. You're not thinking about barbecue grills here at this time of year, but hey, get them for a great Christmas present, and they'll have them when the weather warms up a little bit. Tons of fishing gear as well. They are your home improvement specialists. They'll walk you through any project, make sure you are saving time and saving money. Don't depend on a YouTube video. This is where they separate themselves from the big box stores, that personal attention to help you get those jobs done around the house. ThibodeauStore.com. Delivery is available. Their sister property, the Pierre Parts Store, just celebrated their 113th year anniversary. Thibodeau Store, the Pierre Parts Store, and ThibodeauStore.com.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.